lightweight world champion Katie Taylor. Thanks for all of your support this week and tonight especially. Over to you guys for questions.
If Serrano says no to doing the front at 4 Smart, what happens next?
Is that to me?
To Eddie.
I mean, Katie, there's no point asking Katie because she'll fight anyone that's put in front of her, but obviously we feel that Croke Park gets filled for any fight, but I still think you want to take a super fight there. You know, it's not just about a celebration of Katie Taylor's career, it's about the biggest fight available. That's what she's always been about. And I just feel like after Madison Square Garden, you know, to do 2 fights, one at Madison Square Garden, one at Croke Park, it would be incredible. So Serrano's definitely the target, but we won't wait for her because, you know, like Kate said after the interview, no pressure, because we've kind of dug ourselves into a hole now. I've said it, so it is happening and it is next, and whoever it is will be over in Ireland. But I just feel like that's the perfect fight if everyone's sensible, and you know, Katie's obviously trying and pushing for the best deal, and she deserves that. But it's more than that. It's about legacy, and it's about a moment that Irish sport will never forget.
What other names would you be looking at if she does say no?
Look, you've got a great fight next week between Chantel Cameron and Jessica McCaskill for undisputed at 140. Alicia Baumgardner might move up to 135 pounds. You've got Holly Holm. You know, you've got some great fights out there. But you know, for me, that was the best fight I've ever watched. So naturally, we want to see it again.
It's reported that there is a 100 million defamation case pending between yourself and Jay Paul. Do you think realistically that will scupper or?
If I win the case for 100 million, then the tickets are free for everybody.
Seriously, no. Do you think a court case?
No, I honestly don't. You know, I think that Jay, we'll sort that out. You know, you can't let people take liberties. We can't, as businessmen, we can't just have a fight. Well, we actually probably could, Jay Paul, but I'd probably get knocked out. That's no good. So you have to protect yourself like you would in a fight, and we've built a very impressive business that means a lot to our family, and we're not going to have people come in and accuse us of bribery with judges just because he wants to get some views on his YouTube. So that's how we defend ourselves. We can't, like I said, we can't have a fight in the ring. So we take that very seriously. That will be dealt with, but that's totally separate to Serrano fight. You know what I mean? Serrano knows that over a period of time, it's nice to talk about becoming undisputed at 126, etc. But you know, Katie and Serrano have still got many fights to go. But at the same time, they are in the back end of their career. This is where you've got to make it count. They've worked so hard for so many years to get to this position. Let's not lose the opportunities while we're here. You know, so I think they'll be sensible, and you know, I don't think that'll have any effect.
Katie, do you think realistically, you know, the Irish weather, it'll probably be May really before you go to stage an open air fight at Croke Park? Would you be able to wait that long for your next fight?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's obviously a perfect time to have an outdoor event. We obviously had a day sealed off in September the last time, a few months back, for possibly the Amanda Serrano rematch, but she obviously decided to go on a different route. So it is very, very easy to make, and I'm happy to wait for a few months for the biggest fight of my career and the biggest stage you could ask for. That's a dream event for me. I think that would be the biggest event in women's boxing history that we'll ever see, and one of the biggest events in Ireland as well.
And just looking at the performance tonight, did you expect her to be as awkward and difficult as she was?
Yeah, I mean, she's coming in here as an unbeaten fighter, so she's not unbeaten for no reason. We knew that she was a tough South American, and we were prepared for that type of challenge.
Eddie, you've essentially set Serrano an ultimatum. Are you confident that she will sacrifice for next summer?
I mean, yeah, I think she will. Yeah.
Have you seen her tweet?
Well,
She said she.
Katie's not very big on Twitter.
Just get out of the ring.
Yeah.
That's very good. I can't remember what she said.
We dance again.
We dance again in
Yeah.
2023.
Do you know what I've realised about social media? Like, if you actually don't really go on it a lot, like Katie, the world is completely different. You know, you actually don't realise a lot of the rubbish people are saying.
It's a lot better, is it, Katie?
Sorry?
Is it a lot better not being on social media?
It's a lot better.
I'm going to actually
interest in moving up in weight to sort of go for it, you know, two-way undisputed? Would that be something that interested you in?
Yeah, I think that'll be a very possible point as well. I have no problem stepping up and facing either of those girls. I've obviously fought Jessica before and Beer before, and I fought Chantal as an amateur boxer as well, so I have no problem going and facing either one of them. That would be a fantastic fight.
You know, obviously you want the bucket list and Croke Park's on the bucket list and you're saying with Vegas. Are they the last two things on the bucket list or is there anything else you're sort of looking to achieve?
I'm not too sure right now. I take it fight by fight and once I'm financially secure.
Well, that's a few years ago. What sort of life do you want to live?
Katie, 6 years ago you made your debut in this very arena. You come back 6 years later, superstar, elevate the sport of boxing. How much did this homecoming as such mean to you tonight?
Yeah, it was amazing. Just to be back and see so many Irish people support me, and the atmosphere tonight was fantastic. And the ring walk again was just brilliant to see all the Irish flags around. And sometimes I pinch myself thinking of the support that I'm actually getting over these last few years. And yeah, just an amazing event.
You've organised like huge mega fights here in Wembley and elsewhere. I mean, thinking ahead, how big would Croke Park be in comparison to that? Because I mean, there's never been an event that big in Ireland before.
Well, for all those reasons, and for the the journey that we've been on, it would be the biggest thing we've ever done in boxing. You know, I think I messaged Brian Peters this week, and I think he said that. You know, it'd be your biggest night, and obviously, selfishly, you look for those nights. And Madison Square Garden, you know, AJ Ruiz was one thing, but that Amanda Serrano was, you know, bigger really because of how good the fight was. Because the promotion was so good for that fight, and the interest and the way everyone came together, but it's still got to deliver, and the way that it delivered was unbelievable. So, you know, we've done some great things, but it would be, I don't want to sound cheesy, but to see Katie get that moment as well, like, and it's not just a night for Katie Taylor, it's a night for Irish sport. Like, you're talking about a night that, honestly, like, would be up there, I guess, top 3 of greatest Irish sport. I know you've probably got your list, but that has to be, you know, right up there as something you've never seen, you'll never see again. You know, you've got so many good Irish fighters coming through now. Gary Cully was exceptional tonight. He could end up fighting for the world lightweight title on that card. You know, I just, personally, it's something that we've got to do, you know, and I just feel that you've got the kind of country that will come together for a night like that. And for sport, for boxing, for Katie, everything. And, you know, it would just be amazing to see. The atmosphere would be incredible.
And when did you decide to make such an emphatic statement? After the fight, like say, this the next
When I
fight?
started getting booed. No, I sat there with my dad and we were watching the fight, and you know, he was looking at the atmosphere. He's going, "You got to do Ireland next," you know. And we have, you know, it would just. We know it's been difficult to go there over the years, but it just would be the biggest waste if we didn't, you know. And Croke Park, like, we always talked about Croke Park. It's like one of those things that as a promoter you sort of say, yeah, Croke Park one day, and you think, just like actually, we said Madison Square Garden one day. I used to say when Kate was starting, one day she'll fill Madison Square Garden. I think absolutely no chance, you know. And then obviously she does. And then we were saying Croke Park one day, thinking 80,000, no chance. And then now we've got fights that do it, and you've got to make the most of it.
And you mentioned Gary there. Is there anybody else from an Irish context or not you'd like to see involved in the card?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got Kevin Adjako coming through, ready for a big fight. You've got Thomas Carty's going to probably box November 26th as well. Gary Cully, and loads of Irish fighters, and I just feel like everybody would just do anything to get on that card, which means you can give them really tough fights to get on. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to fight, I just feel like we could put a card together from top to bottom that would just be like young prospects, giving them opportunities, female fighters as well, you know, big world title fights for Irish talent. I think it'd be amazing.
Okay, Ken, and for Ross as well, can you break down the fight tonight kind of from a slightly more technical perspective? What kind of difficulties did Carvajal bring, and maybe what difficulties were getting your own game plan off? If you could answer that.
I think, I mean, she was awkward. She's
for you, Ross. Do you have any preference on who Katie will face, say, in her next fight or in a big Croke Park fight?
I think it's gotta be Serrano.
Katie, did you try hard to, or did you obviously to knock her out, and then did you decide kind of at around the 7th round that you just see it through and
I mean, I don't think you ever go into a fight trying to knock somebody out. The knockout usually just comes. You just go in, you're expecting it to look down around fight. You just go in and box. If the knockout comes, that's great, but it has to flow. But I did hurt her a couple of times, I think, during the fight, but
Visually.
especially-
After the 7th round.
Yeah, like Ross said, she took it very well. She was game and she fought back, and these two South Americans, and but I convinced them very convincing win. Obviously, I think it works very well in stages during the fight.
And just with Croke Park, have you sort of a time frame in mind as to sort of what month next year we'll be looking at?
Not really. I mean, it's a good question earlier about waiting. You know, I think waiting's fine, but you've got to move quite quickly, because what we don't want to do is say to Katie, yeah, May or early June, and then you get to April, May, it doesn't happen, and we've missed the opportunity to fight 3 times. I mean, she's only boxed twice this year, surprised me, yeah. And normally we want her to box 3 times a year, which is fine because she boxed Madison Square Garden, and so. But at the same time, if you do wait till May, you may only box twice next year, and I always think you should fight 3 times a year, even at that high level. Stadium fights sometimes a little bit different because it is a big build-up, big promotion. But I would like to be in a position where even by the end of the year, really, we know if that's a reality. Croke Park, there's a lot of work to be done. You know, Brian's already started that work going into the September fight. But there's still a huge amount of logistics that need to be put in place for a big stadium fight like that. So I don't want to drag out till March or April saying to Katie, yeah, it's coming, and then you've got to plan another fight, then you fight someone else in May or June, and then, this is our one shot, really, next summer for Croke Park. That's the one shot to make it happen.
Katie, your word on the Irish fans tonight, they really made themselves heard when you came out. Just a word on that.
Yeah, amazing. I was even backstage, just about to make my walk, and I could hear the chants of a rail in the stadium. I didn't know what to expect tonight, to be quite honest. I wasn't sure how packed the stadium was going to be, but just stepping down and seeing the amount of people there, and the amount of boosters and support was just fantastic. And really, I'm just so humbled by all the support that I've been getting over the last few years, and it's one of the reasons why I would love to give them a big show in Croke Park. I think this is as much for them as it is for me, for all the support they've given me over the last few years.
Right, everyone. Katie Taylor, Undisputed Light